Thanks for tuning in. This is RebJRadio.
Welcome back to RebJRadio.
All right. What is our topic for today?
Today's topic is why do some women get offended with other women and perpetuate this kind of victim mentality?
Why?
All right. So I'm going to say that today we're talking to the females, but the males probably want to listen. Because why is it that some women automatically enter this defense mode?
Shut up!
When another woman with courage, confidence, or kindness enters the room?
So my experience has been, again, it doesn't happen all the time. It's a certain kind of personality archetype. And I usually find it happening with a group of women. It's not like a one-on-one. It's very rare that it's a one-on-one where we're just alone. It's usually with an audience. That's been my experience, where there's this kind of behavior that becomes catty or little digs, but not in a funny way, but it's trying to play it off in a funny way.
Well, I want to know where it comes from because I have, similar experience where many times I walk into a room with women, and many times it's that men are present as well. Women, many times that I have this experience with are younger, and maybe that's part of it, but it's probably more of a maturity thing because the female will just straight up ignore my existence, won't even look at me, which is the first or the second clue, I should say. And the unquestionable heavy vibe, like you feel that right away. That's like the first thing.
Right.
The one-on-one, it doesn't happen. It's just when there's more present.
Because it requires an audience. I think this behavior requires the audience, so there's an alliance built. It's like a queen bee kind of mentality, I think. It's like, I think, some kind of strange way of asserting dominance or like establishing a hierarchy. It's strange. I don't like the game.
I'd like to say that I do as much as I can to ease the situation, and I raise that low vibe as to not spill it over. I feel like it's my responsibility because I recognize it to not allow
but is
that.
It?
Well, I'm not sure. That's why we're talking about this. But I do take it upon myself to okay, I don't want that damper attitude to spill over into the rest of my good vibe and everybody else's good vibe.
I have found that I was in that role, or I put myself in that role of like the peacemaker, the building bonds, the establishing a commonality kind of a person. And now I'm kind of like, I feel, you know what? That's you have work to do,
you better work it,
miss, and that's your stuff, and that's okay. I'm not going to aggravate the situation by mirroring that kind of behavior or being like, and then you said, it's not. I don't care. However, I also am no longer taking it as my responsibility to rectify the potential damage that's wanting to be done. Or how, I don't know the reason. I really don't understand the reasoning behind the mentality, so I can only speculate. And that's why I can't take responsibility for it, because what if the person just had a bad day?
Well, I see that as an example, as a high caliber example that you're leading. You're not necessarily taking it upon yourself to try and rectify this person's situation, whatever it is that's going on in their mind, why they are acting in this way. But I do see that because we've both experienced it, and I've talked to numerous women, we all experience this.
Yes.
You go into a room and you're looked at in a particular way. I know my intuition and I believe it because it does tell me the truth. I just work to not take it personally because I recognize that, yes, everybody is living their own illusion and making it a reality. But I do see it as imperative that as women we support one another, because it's useless this malice that's hold, the jealousy that it's nurtured between.
Right.
It weakens us as an individual and as a whole.
And I think it's learned behavior. I think like in movies where you're like, that girl's a bitch, and that kind of attitude, I really feel that some women feel that maybe that's the way that you're supposed to relate to other women. You're supposed to have these kind of feelings. And again, I think it really stems from insecurity. Could it possibly stem from, at least partially, some kind of projection of insecurity? could it be that this is, at least in part, making themselves or reestablishing themselves continuously in that victim role? I'm not good enough.
Huh. Yeah, because how are we to rise up truly if we're not open to one another? You know, it's like open-heartedness. As a human, this needs to be a practice. So this alone would solve so much. Enough with the I'm better than you are. Who do you think you are? There's no need and no room for that. It's a waste of time and energy. That is the story that keeps being told to us time and time again. There's only one winner. It is about a competition.
Who are you in this moment, and how are you not reacting through past experiences, but responding with your whole heart and your whole self? How are you responding to this?
If you're one of those naysayer women's, and you know who you are, next time you feel that tendency to poo-poo on another woman coming into the room,
Did she say popo?
just because she might be more vivacious or confident or prettier or smarter, remember, it's just an illusion. This begins the shift of the old paradigm of competition between women. Because let's face it, there's no reason other than insecurities to not join in on the fun.
I think we should just leave it on that note, because there's nothing left to be said. Listeners, have you had your own experience where you were the one perhaps creating it, or you were the one experiencing it? Let us know. Thanks for listening to another edition of RebJ Radio. I just talk too much. And she just says things.
We'd love to hear what you think of our podcast. Please leave your RebJ comments and questions below.